Minneapolis City Council members demanding answers as crime spikes across the city, with shootings reaching a 5-year high. But after pledging to, quote, dismantle the police just a couple of months ago, the City Council is now sounding the alarm and blaming the police.
The crime is actually spreading out.
What people want to know is MPD's response.
Presidents are asking, where are the police? Because that is the only public safety option they have at the moment.
We have officers on the street telling people that they're not enforcing crime. What do we do?
I know that it's not only the police department, but that is what people are looking to right now.
Joining us now with the reaction to the least surprising story in the history of the country, Minnesota GOP congressional candidate Lacey Lee Johnson. He's running for the seat currently held by Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, who is also called to dismantle the police. Lacey, we have a rise in assaults, robberies, homicides, as well as property crimes and arson. Is that what happens when you tell the police they're the problem and you cut their numbers?
It is exactly what happens, Brian. The hypocrisy and failure that we're seeing from the city council is astounding and deeply troubling. After all summer calling for the dismantling or the demilitarizing or the disarming of the police, now they're turning around and blaming these brave officers for a situation that they have created. And you are correct. All the spiking crimes of all kinds in this community, whether you're talking about robberies,
right,
murders, home invasions, carjacking, all of those things have gone up. And it's something that should have been expected, but it just shows you how out of touch our city council is and our liberal government leadership here in Minnesota is.
No one's defending George Floyd, but it spurred all this anti-police action over an incident. Lisa Bender is part of that. She's a councilman. She says the police are being defiant. Her constituents say officers on the street have admitted that they're purposely not arresting people. If that is in fact happening, no kidding. Can you blame them?
I can. I have a friend who has a police scandal, so I keep up to date on a lot of stuff and Facebook posts. And I do know that if think about it, Brian, if you're a policeman and you get in a situation where you're confronted with someone who's resisting arrest,
right,
or armed, there is a good chance that you would do something that make you looking at prosecution and time in prison.
Right.
And so if I can understand that most police officers do not take that risk.
Right. George Floyd, no one's defending the officers in that, obviously, and that's going to be a trial that everybody's watching, whether they're tried collectively or individually. But they said, we have a better idea than police. We're going to use violence interrupters. How are violence interrupters doing?
Violence interrupters are not interrupting violence. What we need are trained, career police officers. Anyone who suggested violent interrupters,
right,
or who suggested we demilitarize the police or defund the police do not understand what it's like out here in our community in these streets.
Right.
So violent interrupters, that's a bad idea, as bad of an idea as defunding the police.
Well, yeah, and the thing is, police would say, give us more time in the academy. Let's talk about different methods to de-escalate. There are issues that need to be discussed. Tim Scott and others have put together some positive proposals, even providing financing to places like Minneapolis, but nothing gets done, and it's frustrating. And this is not the right answer, because innocent people trying to make a living now don't even have this thing they need to make that living, and that's security. Lacey Lee Johnson, best of luck in your run.
Thank you very much, Brian. And we hope to replace our liberal Democrat leadership from the governor to the mayor to Ilhan Omar to the whole city council and take back our city and get a handle on a lot of the issues that's going on around here. So I appreciate the time that
right,
you gave me.
And make the most of all the attention all these candidates are giving you, and hopefully Minneapolis and Minnesota will get some support. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Brian.
All right, we invited